Welcome back. In this week's episode, we meet candidates for the District 3 seat on the Victoria City Council. And a reminder, Tuesday is the last day for early voting. There are extended hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday. So if you have plans to be out of town for the 4th of July holiday weekend, be sure to cast your vote before 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And we'll have full coverage of Election Day on July 3rd. I'll be at the anchor desk. And now we go to our third candidate running for City Council District 3, Lee Andrew Cantu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And Mr. Cantu, can you talk to us about what is the one topic that you would want to see through during your first term on City Council?
Well, that's a good question. The one topic is actually a concern of the residents. It's not something that's a passion of mine, which it is going to become a passion of mine, but hearing from the residents is the maintenance of the streets. And I know we can talk business, economics, and all that. That's all well, and we need it. But the concern with the citizens is the streets, and how we maintain our streets is a big concern.
And they voiced that in this in Wednesday's viewer poll, actually.
Absolutely. You know, I've been out in the street talking to folks, and that seems to be the biggest concern.
Every time I get a notification about Crestwood, I feel like, when will it end?
No, absolutely. So I'm hoping to get on City Council and be able to look at the maintenance program and see if there's opportunities. With my background, you know, being in construction and maintenance, maybe there's an opportunity that we're missing something, and we can look at timelines, how we prioritize streets and stuff like that.
Well, excellent. And what about the city parks? What would your, I guess, vision be for all city parks once the duck pond is completed?
Well, I know this is a vision of mine, but this is a vision that I had when I was growing up. I don't know if you remember the parks back then, but we actually used to have a big old concession stand or type where you could go and you could buy food, you know, stuff. You had picnic tables and stuff like that. But there was also a train station that you could actually ride on the train. So if you talk about, you know, putting money into the park, you want to have a return, not just where it's free for everything. Sometimes we got to utilize things like that, but it would be nice to be able to go back in time and be able to bring stuff back into the park that were family orientated. I know we have trails and stuff like that for folks that are athletics, and the duck pond is good for family, but put something in the park that will draw revenue. Definitely.
I mean, we have so many great things in the park, like the zoo, and the zoo is actually really impacted by Hurricane Harvey. So speaking of emergencies, what do you think the city should have involved in their emergency preparedness plan when it comes to severe weather?
Well, with my past experience being on the LAPC committee and being a fireman and EMS as a volunteer, the city of Victoria has a great emergency plan. So the way they execute the plans, the pre and the post, they're following their procedures that they have. And being that I've worked for the city and part of the EOC, they are doing an excellent job of that. There's always opportunities, but that's why they have a wrap up at the end of the session to figure out, to critique the emergency response and how they did and how well, or what are the opportunities. But I think the city's doing a great job, but I would like to be able to sit on council and see if there is opportunities.
And speaking of emergencies, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. What did you think about the city and county's collaboration together this past year throughout this, pandemic?
Well, everybody has an opinion, but my opinion on this is I think Raleigh McCoy and Ben Zeller did an excellent job. Like I said, when I worked for the city, we had a pandemic plan. So it's not something that hit us and we didn't know what we were doing. The city does have a pandemic plan in place, and when something happens like this, we're not blindsided. But yes, this blindsided the whole U.S. I think, yes, our counts were high in Victoria, but I think Raleigh McCoy and Ben Zeller, Judge Zeller, did an excellent job communicating information to us. I know some people, like I said, have different opinions of how they want the information communicated, but I think they did an excellent job communicating the information.
And what's it been like on the campaign trail? Is this your first run for office?
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you, it's a little more work than I thought, but it's somewhat overwhelming. But again, it's something that I possibly expected that it was going to be, but there's more. But I'm looking forward to the outcome.
Well, excellent. I wish you the best of luck in your candidacy, and I can't wait to, whatever else the future holds in store for you.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Coming up, we speak with Chad Austin Hall, another candidate for the District 3 seat on the Victoria City Council. We'll be right back.